Welcome, Virginia and the rest of America, to the governor's election debate. My name is Elizabeth, and I will be mediator. The procedures will be as follows. Mr. McDonald will share his policy first, followed by Mr. Deeds. Immediately after, we will hear a citizen's point of view to bring the points of view into perspective. The citizen is asked to keep his viewpoint broad and representative of the nation, rather than a specific political affiliation. There will be three major issues that we will address: transportation, energy, and the environment. The first issue we shall be discussing is transportation. If everything is according, Mr. McDonald, you may begin.
Thanks, Elizabeth. My policy for transportations is quite defined. For starters, we must not spend large amounts of time devoted to transportation. There is much we must do, but it can be accomplished in a short duration of time. Our work has to be accurate, definite, and brief. I propose that we should use the $3 billion that we are supposed to be using for transportation actually on transportation. It might seem absurd, but it is the correct way to go. This money will serve its purpose through the establishment of regular forms of transportation, along with environmentally friendly means of commuting. In its entirety, our state will be a leader in efficiency.
Mr. McDonald had some good points, but mine are much to the contrary of his. Our transportation needs to be enhanced through the improvement of road conditions. Through projects, we can increase the standard throughout Virginia of the roads and bridges to introduce new roads to our state. My major focus will be creating a high-speed rail train to help shorten the commute from Richmond to Washington, D.C. Not only will it shorten the commute, but it will reduce emissions drastically.
From an objective citizen standpoint, I believe both policies illustrate good reforms that can be done in the field of transportation. However, transportation is not a pressing issue compared to some of the others in our time. We must not focus on the construction of a super rail train while our economy is suffering. It seems quite irresponsible. The commute may be prolonged by congestion, but proper planning can fully make up for it. As for the construction of new roads and deeds policy, it is unnecessary. We must fix what we already have rather than replacing it. It also must be quick, so we don't have this persisting problem while we must deal with other issues.
I'd hate to have to decide between those two policies. However, our next policy must be addressed. The energy situation has been in constant attack by politicians across the nation. As governor, how would you propose that we reduce harmful emissions and eliminate use of non-renewable resources?
The introduction of new renewable energy sources will not only help the atmosphere, it will help the job situation as well. New energy will require new jobs. New jobs will help us out of the recession. Therefore, we can kill two birds with one stone. We will benefit in the economy and in sufficiency. As a pro-green state, we will no longer have to rely so heavily on electricity as we do now. However, this is in the future. For now, I propose drilling in our shorelines to hinder our dependency on nationally funded oil from overseas. I also lend my support to the coal and nuclear energy industries. They already are a major part of our state, and it's essential that we capitalize on them.
Well, Mr. McDonald, the environmental impact outweighs the amount of energy we have. It is essential for us to cut down on dependency on energy. Our dependency on oil is still currently unchanging. However, if we can increase the average miles per gallon in our state, we will be capable of preserving more oil for the future use. To increase renewable energy, my idea to create larger scale wind farm projects. Obviously, this will require us to raise taxes, but that doesn't really matter to me. After all, my salary is so large, taxes don't really affect me like it would you.
The drilling offshore that McDonald proposes will cut the cost of oil and make it more abundant to Virginia as a whole. Although our dependency on oil is not a good thing, we have not fully gotten away from it. If we can fully comply with our needs at the moment, we may have fewer complaints and can begin switching over to more of a green society. The major flaw I see in McDonald's policy is the proposition of going green while still drilling. It is still possible, but it seems contradictory. However, Deed's major policy of the creation of wind farms seems too idealistic. Virginia does not experience conditions with major wind due to our lack of elevation from sea level. It will supply us with some energy, but the amount of energy may not make up for the cost.
This is quite the debate. We have only one issue left, and that is the environment. Our environment has taken the brunt of a lot of wastefulness and lack of cleanliness. As governor, how would you help return the state of the environment to what it once was before we began polluting it?
The first step we must take is to clean up the Chesapeake Bay and its shores. There has been a substantial increase in the water pollution and the state of the shoreline. We can use the money from the income tax refund to repair and protect the bay. Also, I plan to preserve 400,000 acres of land that would be susceptible to damage through abusive energy use. Lastly, I would like to remind everyone of the Clear Water Act of 1997, for the quality of our water is essential to our community as a whole.
Well, I plan to have a specific plan placed into effect with the Chesapeake Bay immediately. We must take phosphorus, nitrate, and other radioactive elements and get sediment readings to water to fully determine how polluted the waters are in the Chesapeake Bay. Secondly, I stress the reduction of carbon in the air. The diminishing of the pollution in both the Chesapeake Bay and the air will result in a much more environmentally better community.
The policies are essentially very much the same. They both address the serious state of the Chesapeake Bay along with the quality of air and water around us. However, Deed's plan is much more limited to what it will accomplish. It will reform parts of the environment, but not the environment as a whole. However, McDonald puts into policies that we will preserve our land, clean our bay, and ensure the quality of our water. My favor is in McDonald's policies here, but either policy will be very progressive.
Unfortunately, that marks the end of our discussion. After this, it seems like McDonald is the clear choice for governor. However, I can assure you that there will be much more heated debates in the future.
Screw you guys, I'm going home!